What if the biggest threat to the global financial system isn't a war, a recession, or a market crash, but a quiet line of code agreed upon behind closed doors? For decades, we've been told the global financial order is stable, predictable, unchangeable. The US dollar sits at the center, global trade flows through it, and every major crisis somehow ends with the same conclusion: there is no alternative. But then something strange began to happen. 5 countries, once dismissed as emerging markets, started asking dangerous questions. Why must global trade depend on one currency? Why do sanctions work so effectively? And why does the same system that promises stability keep producing debt, inflation, and crisis? Now, those questions have turned into action. Welcome to its financial history too. BRICS, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa have unveiled plans for a game-changing digital currency. Not a cryptocurrency for speculation, not a gimmick, but a system designed to bypass the very foundations of Western financial power. And here's the mystery. Each time, emerging economies paid a heavy price for problems they didn't create. Capital fled, currencies collapsed, and dollar shortages spread like a disease. Then came the breaking point: sanctions, trade wars, asset freezes. When countries realized that reserves held in foreign systems could be frozen overnight, the illusion of neutrality shattered. Money was no longer just economic, it was geopolitical. Russia's exclusion from parts of the global financial system sent shockwaves far beyond Moscow. Other nations watched closely and asked a terrifying question: if it can happen to them, why not us? This is when BRICS stopped being just a discussion forum and started becoming a strategy. The first step was simple: reduce dependence on the dollar. Bilateral trade agreements in local currencies. Central bank cooperation. Alternative payment systems. None of this made headlines, but the groundwork was being laid quietly. Then came the rise of digital currency technology. Central bank digital currencies CBDCs promised faster settlement, lower costs, and more control. China moved first with its digital yuan. Others followed with research, pilots, and infrastructure. What BRICS realized was powerful. If money could move digitally, instantly, and directly between central banks, the traditional gatekeepers could be bypassed. No SWIFT bottleneck. No correspondent banks. No dollar clearing requirement. The idea of a BRICS digital currency emerged not as a replacement for national currencies, but as a shared settlement layer. A unit for trade, reserves, and cross-border payments, potentially backed by a basket of commodities or currencies rather than a single nation's promise. This is where the world began to feel uneasy. Because history shows us a pattern. Every time a dominant monetary system becomes too rigid, alternatives rise. Every time power concentrates, fragmentation follows. The Roman Empire debased its coinage. Trust collapsed. The British pound lost its dominance after 2 world wars. And now the dollar faces pressures it has never seen before, not from weakness alone, but from options. But no rise comes without resistance. Technical challenges appeared, governance questions, trust issues between BRICS members themselves. Critics argued that political differences would doom the project. Others claimed the system was too complex, too slow, too ambitious. These were the failed fixes. Minor reforms to the global system were promised: more inclusion, more fairness, more voting power for emerging economies and institutions like the IMF and World Bank. But progress was slow. The structure remained the same. Control stayed concentrated. So BRICS kept building. Not loudly, not dramatically, but steadily. Trade in local currencies increased. Gold reserves quietly rose. Digital infrastructure expanded. And suddenly, the idea of a BRICS digital currency no longer sounded theoretical, it sounded inevitable. Here's the modern parallel that should make you pause. The global economy today is more indebted than ever. Total global debt has surpassed levels once thought impossible. Currency creation has accelerated. Trust in institutions is declining. And younger generations are questioning whether the system is designed to serve them at all. Every previous monetary shift in history followed this exact pattern: excess debt, loss of trust, technological change, then transformation. The BRICS digital currency isn't just about trade efficiency. It's about rewriting the rules of who gets to issue trust. So what does this mean for the rest of the world? First, it doesn't mean the dollar collapses tomorrow. Dominant systems fade slowly. Then suddenly. What it does mean is that monopoly is ending. Second, it means countries now have choices. And choice itself is power. Even the existence of an alternative weakens the leverage of the old system. Third, it signals a future where money becomes more fragmented, more regional, and more politically aligned. Stability may no longer come from one center, but from balance. So let's end with 3 clear takeaways. Number 1, the BRICS digital currency is not a crypto experiment. It's a geopolitical strategy rooted in decades of cause and effect. Number 2, history shows that monetary systems don't collapse from attack. They erode when trust and relevance decline. Number 3, the world is entering a multi-currency era, and the countries that adapt early will shape the rules for everyone else. The open question is this: will this new system reduce global instability? Or simply replace one form of control with another? That answer hasn't been written yet. If you want to understand the forces shaping the future of money, power, and global order, this is only the beginning. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and stay curious. Because the biggest changes in history rarely arrive with an announcement. They arrive quietly, until it's too late to ignore them.